Good afternoon. The start of the FIFA World Cup is just a week away, with the first match in Toronto coming up in 8 days.
Today, organizers offered a tour of Toronto Stadium and a look at the operations and venue planning ahead of the tournament. CP24's Courtney Heels was on that stadium tour. She joins us live now on the field with more. How's it looking, Courtney?
Good afternoon, Michelle. I have to say it looks fantastic. We're right next to the pitch, and welcome to the new Toronto Stadium. You can see staff out on the pitch right now putting the finishing touches on everything. And as you mentioned, there was this chance for us to get a bit of a sneak peek here. We went behind the scenes to see how things are coming together. We had a chance to see the locker rooms. You notice as soon as you walk in, they've got the FIFA logos everywhere. It's maroon and gold, the colors paying tribute to Canada. This is where the first match will be played next Friday. We also went through the kitchen. We had a chance to go up into the brand new seats. This was BMO Field. Only about 18,000 people were able to end up in the stands here, but they've expanded capacity significantly. Close to 45,000 people will be here for the first match. Again, that's next Friday. So you feel the buzz, the excitement. We spoke with the executive director for stadium operations with FIFA. Here's what he had to say about the fans who will be here.
Got a great cross section. We're going to be able to see a lot of fans from the GTA. About a third of the audience looks like they're from Toronto. The other third will be Canadians, and then we're ready to welcome a third of the crowd from around the world. So we've got a great lineup of matches here, and we're excited to welcome thousands of people in the next month.
And you sense that excitement from the staff who were really busy behind the scenes here. In fact, everywhere you look in the stadium, someone is doing something. They say it's not entirely ready to go, but they're so very close, and they are so excited to welcome the world. Michelle, Nathan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it. Live inside the renamed Toronto Stadium. Meanwhile, on a hot, beautiful, sunny day like today, FIFA is facing pushback after reversing its policy on water bottles at World Cup stadiums. The initial policy would have allowed fans to bring empty, transparent, reusable plastic bottles into the venue. However, FIFA is now banning bottles, cups, and cans, citing safety concerns. Fans will be able to buy water bottles at the stadiums, and FIFA has promised not to inflate prices. The mayor spoke out against the move today.
It's a pure money grab. It's just, why do you need to buy a bottle of water when you can just carry your water in? And it's cheaper that way. It's good for the environment. You don't throw away the plastic. And that's outrageous. It's trying to make more money. They're already making billions of dollars. Stop it.
Now, experts have criticized the move as well, saying it will raise the risk of heat-related illness. Last month, a study found 14 of the 16 host venues will experience dangerous heat levels during the tournament.
And as the FIFA World Cup approaches, the province is more than doubling the maximum fine that can be handed out for selling tickets above their original value. Businesses and people who violate legislation capping the price of resale tickets at their original face value could face fines of $25,000, up from $10,000. The new fine structure will take effect on June 10th, 2 days before the first match in Toronto. The government says it's also amending legislation to allow for the public identification of any ticketing business-issued fines.
This is such a great thing for the people of Ontario, that they can actually go to an affordable concert, an affordable sports venue. This is a massive win for the people of Ontario. So we're moving extremely fast on this, and we're going to hold people accountable. We've increased the fines, I think, up to $25,000. We're making the list public for people that want to try to take advantage of the taxpayers. We're here to protect the taxpayers. They're there to make a profit.
Non-compliant businesses can already face court-ordered fines of up to $50,000 for individuals and $250,000 for corporations.
Pearson Airport is preparing to welcome soccer fans from around the world.
The travel hub is gearing up for what's expected to be a busier than normal summer travel season. CTV's Mike Walker joins us live now from the airport with more. Mike.
Well, Nathan, hundreds of thousands of people are expected to visit Toronto throughout the FIFA World Cup tournament, and many of them will be passing through here at Pearson Airport. We are inside a revamped welcome center here at the international arrivals, which includes a mini pitch, which you can see here. Now, as mentioned, Pearson is expecting an influx of travelers, upwards of 185,000 passengers on those peak travel days in and around the 6 matches that are being hosted here in Toronto. The airport also has direct flights to 15 of the 16 host cities across North America. So in order to handle the influx of travelers, there will be a dedicated games operation center here, and there will be increased staff throughout the airport. Here's more from a GTAA spokesperson on how they've been preparing for FIFA over the past year.
We've been preparing for that for more than a year. And so when that begins, we're going to be standing up a dedicated games operation control center to be able to respond to any situations in the airport in real time. We're adding staff across the terminal as well to make sure that when there are peak periods and the airlines tell us when we're going to have peak periods of passengers, we can reallocate staff to certain areas to make sure that passenger flow goes as seamless as possible.
Now, the summer season, of course, is the busiest travel time of the year here at Pearson. Throughout this month, they are expecting 230,000 more travelers than they experienced last year. Reporting live inside Pearson Airport, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Still to come, Five Eyes nations are warning that China is trying to use online job sites to get sensitive information from people with security clearance. We'll have those details a little later in the newscast.
A couple have been found guilty of the 2023 murder of their neighbor in Liberty Village. 53-year-old Riyaz Habib was found dead in the garbage compactor of a townhouse complex June 8th of 2023, a day after being reported missing. 36-year-old Koa Tran has been found guilty of second-degree murder in Habib's death. Tran's wife, 30-year-old Isabel Nguyen, has been found guilty of being an accessory after the fact and committing an indignity to a dead body. The couple are set to be sentenced September 9th. Halton Regional Police have arrested multiple people and laid dozens of charges in connection with 2 separate investigations in Oakville.
Project Joker and Project Disconnect both targeted organized crime groups believed to be responsible for auto thefts in the GTHA. CP24's Steve Ryan joins us live with more on the results of the investigation. Steve.
Nathan and Michelle, both of these projects were intelligence-led, data-driven. The first one, Project Joker, focused on auto thefts, not only in Halton region, but in the GTA as well. Police allege that there were over 100 vehicles stolen. 2 people have been arrested for those offenses, and they face a variety of criminal charges, including auto thefts. And the second project, Project Disconnect, was certainly data-driven. That focused on hotels in Oakville. Police noticed through their crime analysis that many cars were being stolen specifically in hotel parking lots. So this project was set up, and as a result, 2 other people were arrested and charged with a variety of criminal offenses for those offenses as well. And police believe now that this criminal organization was disrupted and dismantled. Now, earlier on, I did speak with Chief Tanner out here in Halton region. Here's some of my conversation with him.
Officers need to be astute enough to use our analytics and look at the patterns of theft, and in this case, identify a number of hotels in the Oakville area where vehicles were being stolen from regularly, and then to be able to be in the area and on scene quick enough to make the arrest, because these, as you see in the video, these thefts happen in a matter of seconds. So to be there.
Pattern recognition is very important when it comes to crime analysis in a specific area. And in this particular case, it's a great example of how that works and how sharing of information throughout different police agencies can result in positive results like what Halton shared with us today. I'll send it back to the desk.
All right. Thank you, Steve. An investigation is underway following a collision involving a police cruiser in Etobicoke. Now, it happened just before 8:15 a.m. near Bloor in Islington. A cruiser collided with another vehicle in the area. The officer behind the wheel was not hurt, while the other driver suffered minor injuries. The cause of the crash is being investigated.
A protest ride is planned for this evening on Queens Quay, where a cyclist was arrested earlier this week. Video video shared on social media shows the arrest. Police confirm the man was issued 3 tickets for failure to stop, failure to identify, and disobeying a stop sign under the Highway Traffic Act. David Shellnut with the Biking Lawyer LLP says he has been retained by the man who was arrested. Shellnut says his client has been diagnosed with a concussion and was not provided medical attention by police following his arrest. The protest ride is set for 6 p.m. at Little Norway Park.
CAA has released its annual list of the worst roads in the province, with 4 streets in the top 10 located in Toronto.
However, a roadway in Hamilton has claimed the top spot for the 3rd time in the past 5 years. Our Janice Golding turns us live now from the Hammer with those details. Janice.
Hi, Michelle. Yes, we're live right now on Barton Street East in downtown Hamilton, which has won the dubious distinction of being the CAA's worst road in Ontario for the 3rd time. And it's not too difficult to see why. If Jamie will show you the road right now, just broken up, asphalt everywhere. The CAA's Worst Road campaign takes feedback from thousands of motorists who point out roads in need of urgent repair. The CAA says it runs this campaign to show all levels of government where they need to prioritize investment. For 2026, Barton Street East tops the list of the top 10 worst roads, with Hurontario in Mississauga coming in 2nd. As you mentioned, 4 streets in Toronto also mark the top 10, including Steeles Avenue East and Shepherd Avenue West, which came in 4th and 5th place, and Bathurst Street and Unwin Avenue took the 8th and 9th spots. Here's more from the CAA.
Barton's taken the top spot for the 3rd time, and especially in the last 5 years. The difference is in the Worst Roads campaign, you have the option to nominate a road and then select the intersection. So we're seeing on a street like Barton, the intersections are now changing in terms of where people are feeling some of those pain points. And, you know, it's over 20 kilometers of roads, one of the longest roads in Hamilton. So projects like this to get updated, it takes multiple years sometimes.
And to just give you some context, we're live right now at Barton Street East at Ottawa. The top reasons that people cited for having concerns about roadways included potholes, uneven roadways, and poor maintenance. Reporting live, Janice Golding. Now back to Michelle and Nathan.
Thank you, Janice. The Premier and the Mayor made a joint announcement about the upcoming upload of the Gardiner and the DVP to the province.
Both sides say they're committed to pushing the transition forward. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has been following this story and joins us live with more. Siobhan.
This is a plan first set back in motion in the fall of 2023, and we learned today that the transfer will be made complete about a year from now, in the fall of 2027. The province is promising to continue to help the city out with funding to do repairs on the Gardiner and the DVP, up to $353 million between now and then. The idea here is to take a financial burden and big projects and shifting priorities away from the city, $9 billion worth. The mayor says that will free Toronto up to spend more money on things like other roads, parks, and other community services. Here's more of what we heard from the Premier.
What we're doing is taking the burden off the backs of taxpayers in the city of Toronto. I think this should have been done a long time ago, decades and decades ago. The province should have uploaded this to the province. But this takes a massive burden that they can reallocate those funds for other areas within the city. You know, I wish we had a provincial government when I was at City Hall that would do this, because it was costing us a fortune to maintain it every year. So part of our new deal, it's going to free up a lot of money for the mayor to do things that she sees that is needed right in the city of Toronto.
Well, the Premier was asked about what other moves he could make to make traffic on the Gardiner and DVP move any faster. He says he won't rule anything out right now, including maybe tunneling those highways. I asked him if he's committed to sticking with the charity runs and bike rides we see on those highways. He thinks they're worthwhile, raising money for charity. Reporting live, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. The city's kicked off Bike Month with this annual Bike to Work event. Mayor Olivia Chow was among the hundreds of cyclists who made their way along Bay Street to Charles and eventually to Nathan Phillips Square. The event ended with a post-ride celebration featuring free coffee and a pancake breakfast.
Oh, and what a day to bike to work, especially in the morning when it's not so hot. Just glorious conditions once again as we take a live look at our beautiful waterfront. Lindsay Morrison is here with all the details, and definitely at this point of the day, you can start to feel it's heating up.
Oh, it's getting hot out there, Michelle. The heat is on in the GTA after so many days with low humidity. We're going to start to notice it a little bit more. It is 28 degrees right now at the airport. You might find some relief down by the water today. For example, it's almost 10 degrees cooler in Ajax, but not so much the case. It's 25 degrees, for example, in Burlington. And this has to do with the direction of the winds, a southerly and southwesterly flow today. And we are at a 9 on the UV index. So that's sun is strong out there today. This is your afternoon at a glance. We might soar all the way to 31 degrees, feeling like 32. So it's not oppressive humidity, but that does change tomorrow. All is pretty clear on the satellite and radar. We've got a little bit of fair weather cloudiness, but this is what's coming just in time for the weekend. So we'll talk about the opportunity for some wet weather ahead. For now, though, Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Intelligence officials from Canada and the other Five Eyes countries are warning that China is using job sites like LinkedIn to try and extract sensitive information from people with security clearance. CTV's Jeremy Sharon's been following this story and joins us live with more. This sounds serious, Jeremy.
Yeah, Nathan, a rare warning from the Five Eyes group. So that's the intelligence agencies from Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, and the US about this threat and tactics, spying tactics that China is using by utilizing these business social media platforms, if you will, LinkedIn, Indeed, places where people are going to look for jobs, applying to jobs even, that are posted on these websites. What CSIS is saying, along with these other groups, warning that China is posting fake jobs on these platforms, specifically looking to target individuals that are current or previously have worked in government or have links to the military, to try and gain access to privileged information or even classified information that can be utilized on their end as leverage, as information gathering for China. The other thing that the group is warning is that it is not just sensitive or classified information always that they are after, that even any level of information that is shared with these spy agencies, or with these spies rather, can be helpful to them in corroborating and in supporting sensitive information that they have already gathered. So a stark warning here for people looking for jobs on these websites, that China is using what these intelligence groups is calling an aggressive online recruitment strategy to really try and gather sensitive information. So an important warning here for Canadians.
Yeah, all this while Canada tries to reset its relationship with China. How could this warning impact that relationship?
I mean, that's the big question. And experts on Canada-China relations are saying this is exactly what we need to be on the lookout for. And it is exactly why Canada cannot be ignorant to these issues and needs to be well aware of the threats that China poses. CSIS has in the past acknowledged foreign interference and the threats to security that China poses. And so it is a perfect example and a specific example of the threats that exist in furthering a trade relationship with China. Canada, of course, is looking to diversify in the midst of a trade war with the U.S. And building new trade partnerships includes building a further relationship with China, the second largest economy in the world. That being said, these are the realities of doing more business with China that experts are warning need to also be kept a close eye on when it comes to a relationship like this. So certainly an example of the fine line the Canadian government has to continue to walk here in striking the right balance between monitoring these things, being aware of threats like this that China still poses, while still trying to bolster trade relationships with what is the second largest economy in the world.
All right, CTV's Jeremy Sharon in Ottawa. Thank you.
Anytime.
New data from Statistics Canada indicates while overall inflation is relatively low, Canadians are still feeling increased pressure at the grocery store. According to StatsCan, food bought from stores jumped 3.5% in April compared to the same month last year. Meat remains one of the biggest contributors to food inflation. Over the last year, beef strip loin cuts rose $9.61 per kilogram and now stand at $42.42. Tight cattle supplies are among the reasons for the hike. And then there is coffee. A 340-gram package of roasted or ground coffee costs $9.39. That's a jump of $1.61, or more than 20%. Poor harvest in major coffee-producing countries and supply chain pressures are getting the blame here.
The federal government is extending measures to support Canada's steel and aluminum sector. A program which reimburses some companies for Canadian counter tariffs on American steel and aluminum will continue for another year. It will now run until the end of June of next year. Import quotas on steel from countries other than the U.S. and Mexico will also remain in place, with a 50% tariff being applied above certain limits. Ottawa says the move is meant to protect domestic producers from unfair trade practices.
Today marks exactly 1 year since U.S. President Donald Trump doubled his 25% tariff on Canadian steel, hitting the industry hard, particularly in Sault Ste. Marie.
CTV's Adrian Gobria recently traveled to the city to find out how they've weathered the trade war.
Along the shore of the St. Mary's River sits a northern Ontario city that's been propped up by the steel industry for more than a century. Though in recent months, the foundation of Sault Ste. Marie's economy has been forced to bend, though it hasn't broken just yet.
It's bent, and it's bent pretty sharply.
50% U.S. tariffs forced the city's largest employer, Algoma Steel, to accelerate their plans to pivot to electric steel making. In December, the company announced roughly 1,000 workers would lose their jobs, the largest layoff in Algoma's more than 125-year history.
Here in Sault Ste. Marie, the local economy is already struggling. Here on this main strip, the theater's been boarded up, same with appliance stores and laundromats, and there's a fear that the layoffs at Algoma might make matters even worse.
The huge impact will be when EI starts running out.
Michael DePratt spent 56 years at Algoma Steel. He now represents more than 1,200 workers as union president.
You believe diversifying from the U.S. is the only way forward for Algoma Steel.
We need to develop our own economy, right? We can't be vassals of the United States.
South Korean shipbuilder Hanwha has pledged to invest in Algoma and use the company's steel to manufacture new armored vehicles in Canada, if the bid is selected by Ottawa to deliver 12 new submarines for the Canadian Navy.
Frankly, we think that the bid that benefits our community is the bid that should be selected.
There are other potential bright spots in the Sioux's steel industry.
We're fighting back.
A joint $300 million public-private investment across town will see Tenaris expand its steel pipe production and add to its 800-person workforce.
For Tenaris, it's all about doubling down on domestic production.
We are devoting more and more of our domestic production for Canada, so our exposure to the tariffs is going down to the extent that hopefully in a couple of months it will be going almost down to zero.
With steely determination, those who call Sault Ste. Marie home are pressing forward.
The investments here at Tenaris will create 200 new jobs and hundreds of other spin-off positions over the next 3 years. Good news for a resilient steel city. Adrian Gobria, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The federal government has released its National Artificial Intelligence Strategy. The strategy, as outlined this morning, consists of 6 pillars: protecting Canadians and safeguarding democracy, empowering Canadians, powering AI adoption, building the Canadian Sovereign AI Foundation, scaling Canadian champions, and building trusted partnerships.
We all hear about AI everywhere, at the dinner table, at work, and there's an enormous opportunity to change lives for the better. But we know there's real concerns about trust and safety and privacy and control. And we have to be open to the opportunities for AI and candid about these concerns. And our strategy for AI for all, is a pragmatic, practical one that will make sure Canadians have the skills, the tools, and the means to ensure that AI serves our values.
Canadians need to be able to develop the trust that AI will be governed in ways that reflect our values, to trust that they will share in its benefits. And for AI to benefit Canadians, it needs to create new opportunities for us and to be anchored in infrastructure that Canadians can control. Under our strategy, the government will introduce new legislation, regulations, and standards to protect your data, your privacy, your children. We will modernize Canada's privacy laws and online safety legislation, ensuring that they are fit for an AI-driven world. We will expand Canada's AI Safety Institute with advanced research to evaluate AI models and to track emerging risks.
The government has set out several specific goals, including creating up to 90,000 AI-related jobs and work opportunities for young Canadians by the year 2031. They also hope to boost AI adoption among businesses from 12% today to 60% by 2031. We'll have more details on the plan and how critics are reacting on CTV News at 5 and 6.
In the Middle East, Hezbollah rejected a new ceasefire plan agreed to by the governments of Lebanon and Israel. That response from the Iranian-backed militants came just hours after the deal was announced in Washington.
The two sides agreed, with the guidance of the United States, to swiftly advance the creation of pilot zones in which the Lebanese armed forces will take exclusive control of the territory to the exclusion of all non-state actors.
The governments of Lebanon and Israel have technically had a ceasefire in place, but the deadly exchange of fire between the two countries is actually between Israel and Hezbollah. Despite the announcement, the Israeli military launched more strikes in southern Lebanon this morning. Yesterday, Israeli strikes killed at least 9 people in southern Lebanon, and Hezbollah fired rockets into northern Israel.
Hope was that Iran, together with the United States, would be putting pressure on both sides. Iran has always claimed that a ceasefire in Lebanon, IDF stopping its activities there, was part of the original deal between the U.S. and Iran. Israel rejected that. Hezbollah began firing into Israel after Iran was attacked, and they have not ceased since.
Israel's air defense system blocked a volley of Hezbollah rockets today, as both sides suggest the deadly fighting will continue.
Meanwhile, in Washington, the Trump administration suffered a major symbolic defeat over its decision to launch the war in Iran and its handling of the conflict.
On this vote, the yeas are 215 and the nays are 208. The concurrent resolution is adopted.
The U.S. House of Representatives voted to direct Trump to withdraw American troops from Iran or face a vote in Congress to continue. Most of the votes came from Democrats, but 4 Republicans tipped the scale to give the measure a majority. President Trump called the vote meaningless. The matter goes to the U.S. Senate next.
As temperatures climb across the country, wildfire season is also heating up. Nearly 24 properties in BC's Caribou region are under evacuation alert as flames approach. The Swede Creek wildfire southwest of Prince George has grown to more than 18 square kilometers. More than 100 firefighters are working to battle the flames, alongside several aircraft spraying water from above. 22 properties are now on evacuation alert. Residents are being warned to be ready to flee the area on short notice. The cause of the fire is still not known.
Well, it certainly is a hot one here at home today. Temperatures in many different communities are anywhere from 8 to 10 degrees above seasonal, or are expected to be by the height of the day today. So here's a look at today's highs. Average temperature this time of year in Toronto is 23 degrees, and instead we will be closer to 31 this afternoon. Now, we do have some rain on the way. It's been, by the time it arrives, it will have been almost 2 weeks since we had measurable rain. The last time we had a dry streak quite like this was back in September and October. But coming up, we will hone in on the timing of this rain's arrival and give you an idea of how much is in the forecast. That's after this break here on CTV News at noon.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
All right, to the forecast, to all those visitors arriving here in Toronto, they're thinking the weather's always great like this. It's creating a good impression.
I love this. I know, because, yeah, we're opening up our city to the world, and this is what you want. You want the sun, you want the heat. It's not freezing cold. This is summer weather.
I'm glad that the timing of this has worked out because, yeah, had visitors been here in much of May, April, March, yeah, it was a bit of a different weather story altogether. Of course, it was a different season, but it was Cooler than normal. It was rainier than normal. This winter was snowier than average. But as we make our way through the next week here, we are tapping into some real summertime heat. But with summertime heat comes the risk of thunderstorms, and we have a couple of opportunities for those as well. Weather is brought to you by the Presler Law Firm. Injury lawyers, you don't pay unless they win. And I simply want to take another peek out the window and show you what it looks like out there right now. Beautiful blue sky, Lake Ontario sparkling once again. We are expecting that the city is going to climb into the 30s this afternoon for a daytime high. So it is time to give you a few reminders of how you can keep yourself and others safe during heat events like this one. I know we're not dealing with oppressive humidity today. That likely changes though tomorrow. So drink plenty of water. That should go without saying. Wearing loose, light colored clothing is a good idea too. And at this time of year, we must remind you that how important it is to never leave people or pets inside parked vehicles. We are already at 28 degrees at the airport. 27 in the Windsor area, 24 in Muskoka this hour. Even just looking at the colors on this map, you can tell that it is a little bit cooler today in parts of northern Ontario. Record to beat for us is about 32 degrees. Pearson Airport, so far the provincial hotspot of the day. We'll see if we can hold on to that. Evening patio forecast looks great. Get outside, enjoy the conditions. Tomorrow we're going to increase the cloud cover and invite the possibility of a few showers before the day is done. But overnight tonight, dry. Few clouds out there, 17 degrees, the forecast low. That's quite mild for an overnight temperature. And then look at tomorrow, 32 degrees. It's going to feel more like 35. And yes, a mix of sun and cloud with cloud cover starting to increase as the day goes on. Satellite and radar, as usual, not much to show you. It's been that kind of week, but we now see an area of low pressure that is inching ever closer to the lower Great Lakes. A couple of them, in fact. And with this, we are going to start to see a few showers, perhaps as early as Friday afternoon. That is going to be very light, scattered, isolated in nature. The more widespread event happens overnight and into Saturday. We're likely to encounter a few rumbles of thunder, flashes of lightning. And then while we do dry out for a little bit during the day on Saturday, it looks as though an additional round of showers or storms will move through for the afternoon. Sunday looks to be a drier day with some clearing and some sun back in the mix, especially for the afternoon. This is a little bit of a snapshot of how much rain we could be in for heading into the day on Saturday. Right now, it looks like the heavier rain is going to be to our north. We cool slightly for Saturday, daytime high 26 degrees, 27 for Sunday, and it looks like some warmth and some sunshine will follow us into the early part of next week with a risk of thunderstorms returning by about Wednesday. That's the weather for now. Nathan, going to send it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. The Blue Jays will be looking to avoid a sweep as well as their 5th straight loss when they wrap up their series with the Atlanta Braves tonight.
Swing and a high fly ball deep out to right field. White turning at the fence. It's way gone.
The Jays took the lead with a solo shot in the 3rd inning. However, the Braves hit a pair of homers later to secure a 7-3 victory. First pitch for tonight's game is set for 7:15 in Atlanta.
Victoria Mboko has announced that she is teaming up with none other than Serena Williams. The 19-year-old from Burlington confirming on Instagram she'll be partnering with Williams at the Queen's Club tournament, which begins this weekend. On Monday, the 44-year-old Williams announced she was coming out of retirement and accepted an invitation to play doubles at the grass court event. Mboko posted a photo with Williams saying she's honored to share the court with one of the greatest athletes of all time. Still to come on CTV News at noon, Breast Cancer Canada has launched its national survivorship strategy. We'll have those details when we return. Breast Cancer Canada has released a new strategy focused on how patients can cope after getting the all clear following a cancer battle. The organization launched its national survivorship strategy today. It looks at all aspects of how to handle life following a cancer fight, including advancing research and support systems.
Yes, there is the risk of reoccurrence, something that's very well aware, that patients are very well aware of. And it's interesting, we just launched a research study result that said patients are more worried about their family and the results of what happens to their family after the diagnosis and the risk of reoccurrence for their family. So will my family get breast cancer now that I've had breast cancer? And so some of those things are now causing huge amounts of stress. And then there's also the physical part of it. You know, if you've had lymph nodes removed for your treatment, if you've had a mastectomy done for your treatment, these are all great survivorship results and outcomes. But what happens with that as we move through life?
The group decided to undertake this study in the wake of more and more young people being diagnosed with breast cancer. Vancouver General Hospital has become the first facility in Canada to use specially designed robots to help prepare chemotherapy treatments.
CTV's Kevin Chirac has more on how the technology is changing the way cancer care is delivered.
Meet Vancouver General Hospital's new cancer-fighting robots.
This is a very life-saving technology.
Chiro oncology robots, known as chemo robots, help prepare and assemble treatments for patients. They also reduce exposure for healthcare workers handling hazardous drugs.
It allows us to be much more efficient with our workflow.
The old way, it used to take pharmacy techs about an hour to produce 12 doses of treatment. Now, with the robots, it takes about 40 minutes. Doesn't seem like much, but on a mass scale, makes a big difference.
We are able to speed up our drug delivery process and production by approximately 30% relative to doing it in a manual fashion.
Launched in December, staff say they're proving to be a game changer.
We needed to make sure the accuracy, safety, and timely delivery of our medication. And all these three were met by Chiro oncology robots.
The $3 million robots are the first in Canada and funded through the VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation's Greater Than Cancer campaign.
It's an important investment.
Angela Chapman, president of the foundation, says technology like this could have a bigger impact down the road.
So making them on demand in the way that they're done by these chemo robots will save money. And we believe that then that will be proof of concept for this to roll out in other locations in BC and, of course, across Canada.
And while errors can happen, staff say they are extremely rare and always caught.
So if there is an unexplained differential in what we expect, like what the robot expects, the robot knows and goes, nope, don't use this drug, redo it.
For now, the robots are focused on leukemia and bone marrow transplant patients. But with demand for cancer care rising, staff say they could help the system keep up.
This is just hopefully the beginning.
Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
Still to come, changes are coming to a key federal benefit program. We'll have the details when we come back.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Air Canada is trying to ease concerns about fuel shortages ahead of the busy summer travel season. The airline sent an email to customers saying there is no fuel shortage affecting its operations, including across Europe. Air Canada says it does not anticipate any significant impact throughout the summer. Meanwhile, German airline group Lufthansa says more European airlines are confident there will be no jet fuel shortage.
Changes are coming for a key federal benefit program with millions of Canadians set to receive payments. Starting tomorrow, eligible people receive a one-time GST/HST credit top-up payment. The Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit will replace that credit beginning next month. However, eligibility rules, payment calculations, and the overall structure will remain the same. Ottawa says quarterly payment amounts will increase by 25% for 5 years, providing more support to people with low incomes.
There was a strong response to a hotly awaited product drop linked to the excitement around heated rivalry.
All right, so tonight we can do the men's short form figure skating? Or? My buddy Joe's in that program. We'll train together.
Pre-sale started yesterday for the Team Canada fleece jacket, worn there by Hudson Williams as his character Shane Hollander in the hit series from CTV's Bell media partner Crave. Demand was high, even despite the $356 price tag. In fact, all sizes are sold out. Retailer Province of Canada says 10% of proceeds will support You Can Play, an organization aimed at addressing homophobia and other forms of discrimination in hockey.
It's a big day for Bell Media, the parent company of CTV News. The stars are in town for the annual Upfront presentations.
That's when the company reveals the new shows coming to Bell Media platforms. CTV's Andrea Case caught up with some of the stars earlier today.
Yeah, going slow really worked. When Kevin Sussman got the call from the Big Bang Theory producer Chuck Lorre, he was thinking of a spin-off for the show starring his character Stuart Bloom. He was surprised because a start on Big Bang wasn't a smooth one.
My first day, I went up on I forgot my line many times. And I was like, okay, well, moving on. I won't be on this show again. So it was crazy that I wound up, in the end, I was on the original one over 80 times.
Now, 7 years after that show ended, Sussman is back with cast members Lauren Lapkus, Brian Posen, and John Ross Bowie.
You wouldn't look at Brian and think vision board guy, but you'd be wrong.
And I kind of put it out there. I won't say I manifested the show.
You manifested it.
But there was a little bit of me going, I said Chuck Lorre into I did a little Beetlejuice, where I would say Chuck Lorre into the mirror. I'm sweating telling you this in person. But I really did that. And that's why my wife, when he called, she was like, oh my God.
The premise of the show is Bloom accidentally breaks a space-time device, triggering an apocalyptic event, forcing the team to travel from universe to universe to restore reality.
I got the call. I had just had my second daughter like a week before, and then Chuck Lorre called me, and I was like, this is the best phone call ever. I have a job, and it's going to be cool. So it was very exciting.
For Canadian actor Scott Speedman, being back here at 299 Queen Street, Bell Media headquarters, brings back a lot of memories. Do you remember Speaker's Corner?
I was driving along Queen Street. I think I got diverted. I knew about this thing that was happening. A lot of kids were auditioning for Batman Forever, the Boy Wonder part, and I was driving along Queen Street. I was actually trying to get to McMaster. I was seeing my friends. They were at school already, my older friends. I was still in high school, and there was enough traffic. I pulled the double park, pulled over, ran in, put my dollar in the Speaker's Corner and said, you know, I want to audition for Boy Wonder. And then my mom got a call like 3 days later or something to come audition, and I did a couple of auditions for Mally Finn, the casting director for Warner Brothers, who was here, and the rest is history.
He didn't get the job, but a career was born. Speedman returns for season 2 of his show, Florida-based PI R.J. Decker. This year, he also takes on the role of executive producer. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Coming up, pursuing the pirate life. An Ontario company is selling off its pirate ships and hoping to find a buyer ready to take to the high seas. If you've ever thought the pirate life might be right for you, an Ontario company is offering the chance to make the dream a reality.
The business, also called Pirate Life, is up for sale, including several pirate ships. CTV's Sean Lifong has the details.
The Jolly Roger flies above. There are cannons along the side. And it comes with
real pirate gold.
This pirate ship can all be yours for a price that is not quite clear.
I can't publish that information, but it's a few gold doubloons will get you there.
What's really for sale is the business called Pirate Life, offering a 1-hour experience for kids searching for treasure around the Toronto harbor during the day and an escape room in the evenings.
We've got a full-time staff that manage the operations, that are here every day.
There are 4 total ships located here in Toronto, Hamilton, and Ottawa, all with leases, licenses, and permits.
Welcome aboard the Grey Ghost, matey.
Owen McGowan is one of the actors working on the ship anchored at Mooney's Bay in Ottawa.
It's adventure. It's truly, in its purest form, just fun.
It's the smiles of the kids. You stand on board and you look at them and you go, aye, matey, I'm a real pirate, and they believe you. And when you open that treasure chest at the end and there's a gold coin on the inside, their eyes are as wide as they can be with joy.
The 24 cannons along the side are working, giving kids a chance to protect their treasure.
We have a villain character who is in a small boat and circles the ship trying to steal our treasure. No one likes it when someone's trying to steal your treasure.
Owner Matt Slayman worked to build these ships custom, starting in Toronto in 2014. They've been in Ottawa for almost 20 years. He says the turnkey operation is perfect for someone looking to own a business.
This is the way to get unchained from your day job Imagine being out here underneath the sunshine from May to October, running your own company, captaining your own ship, as it were.
So if you have some of these lying around, this might be your sign that a pirate life is for you. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Are they going to find the right buyer?
I don't know. I mean, if it's so great, why are you selling?
I don't know.
Unless you can have someone check out those ships, make sure they're good. Why not? They look like fun.
He might want a 9 to 5, which, you know, but what a day to be on the high seas.
Yeah, if you're out there today, you know what we're talking about already. We've seen those pirate ships in some of our live looks on Lake Ontario before. Very exciting for whoever's going to be the new owner. Let's take one more look at our current temperatures. We're watching the temperature climb, still at 28 degrees this hour, but we are forecasting an afternoon high near 30, 31, depending on which corner of the GTA you're joining us from. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, not quite heat warning criteria, but getting close. 17 degrees is the overnight low. You may find it a little uncomfortable for sleeping. And then tomorrow, more in the way of humidity. It's going to feel like the mid-30s in the afternoon. Mix of sun and cloud to start, a bit of an increase in cloud cover for your Friday. And then before the day is finished, we're likely to get into a few showers. Saturday is unsettled with on and off showers and the risk of a thunderstorm. It will be a slightly cooler day. Sunday, though, is looking pretty good. I think perhaps the better day this weekend if you're looking to go ahead with some outdoor plans. Early next week is warm and sunny. Keeping an eye on Wednesday for another potential round of active weather. Nathan and Misha.
Thank you, Lindsay. And that is it for CTV News at noon. Remember, you can get Toronto's breaking news all day long on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here, have a pleasant afternoon. I'm Michelle Dubé.
And I'm Nathan Downer. Be sure to join us later for CTV News at 5 and 6.